Gosh, I could really go for a banana right now. I mean, all I really need is money. All I have to do is find someone to sell me a banana. Because if I pay someone to buy me a banana, or to sell me a banana, that's a transaction, right? That's right. Okay, I think I'm gonna go get a banana. Because I'm a buyer. So as you can see from the video, I went out to buy a banana with my money from a seller. So in this case, I'm the buyer. The person selling me the banana is the seller. The space in the middle is the in between, the transaction is me giving the money to the seller. And so that encompasses the idea of the market at hand. And we will now talk about the third party and how the effects of my eating the banana and what I did with the byproducts of me eating the banana affected other people.
Negative externality is when the production of a good negatively affects someone who is not buying or selling the good. So in other words, the producer is not bearing all the cost of production. It must involve a market transaction, and it has to impose some type of monetary value on someone who is not part of the transaction, so the third party. And the third party must be negatively affected in some way for it to be a negative externality. In this negative externality, there is a marginal external cost which Daniel has to pay, as you will see in the video, where he slips on a banana, and he was not part of the transaction, but because of the consequences of the transaction, he has to pay medical bills, which he would otherwise not have had to pay if it weren't for that transaction.
My back! My back! Oh, someone call an ambulance.
Oh, this looks bad. What happened, sir?
I slipped on a banana peel. This is gonna be
Is someone throwing
expensive.
banana peels around?
Man, I'm gonna need an ambulance.
Oh, this is gonna be so expensive. Your medical bills, your trauma. Oh no, just go ahead and stay down, sir. Stay down, stay down.
Head hurts. So when dealing with a negative externality, the supply and demand is going to change on this graph, and the supply is going to change to the marginal private cost, which is the cost where the firm itself pays up until this point. The demand is going to change to the marginal social benefit, which is the benefit that the consumer gets out of that product. So when we're dealing with this, there's going to be a negative externality, which is going to shift the supply curve to the left, which we get this right here, which is going to be the marginal social cost. The marginal social cost equals the MEC, the marginal external cost that's bared on the third party that wasn't part of the market transaction at all. Plus, we're going to have the MPC, is what the producer pays. Alright, so when we add in this extra cost of the marginal external cost and the graph shifts to the left, the old equilibrium point that's right here, which we'll call Q, and for the price is going to be P, is no longer the optimum point that we want to produce at. So because of this shift, we have new points on the graph. We'll call this one Q star. And we'll call this P star. This point right here is the social optimum point. So at a social optimum point, it means that the benefit produced from producing this additional unit is equal to the cost of the firm to produce an additional unit. So you don't want to go and produce an additional unit because if you go either way from here, there's no net change. So that's the new market equilibrium for that point. Now when we come back to this equilibrium right here, for the producer, you're up here with an MEC of getting this point up here. But the marginal benefit that the society gets out of it is down here. So that means we have this whole area right here, which we call deadweight loss, which you don't want to produce at because it makes an inefficient market.
The one policy we can start implementing is having the parties in the farmers market pay an extra fee to hire people to come through and clean up the area. This will reduce the external costs to third parties and make the producers bear more of the cost in production. So we'll move the marginal private cost line up, which will reduce the marginal external costs, and we'll continue to move the marginal private cost up until it meets the marginal social cost. So therefore the producers will bear all of the costs in production and the third parties will bear none of the costs, so they will not have any negative externalities. The issues that we're facing with our negative externality is the excess trash left over at the farmers market. These are due to the inadequate cleanup by the parties in the market transaction, which are the individual firms of the farmers market, and the customers. Due to the trash not being picked up, it is negatively affecting third parties in a monetizable way, such as medical bills and emotional stress, which can make third parties miss work.
So, whatever.
The policy that we think the firm should implement is that they should hire a separate company to come in after farmers markets and clean up the streets from all the trash lying around, so therefore the third party who's not in the market transaction won't fall and slip on a banana peel. Okay, so if the firm implements this policy and has a cleanup crew to clean up the farmers market, they're going to be bearing more of the marginal private cost, which is going to start shrinking the marginal external cost, and ideally they'll reach the social optimum point.